Hi, Notre Dame Running Start Psych 101 students. Angus here in my day job, Academic Resource Center in a kind of studio setting, meeting you kind of face to face on this video here. Maybe some of you are already content creators or no content creators, so, this is right up your alley, which is great. I'd like to start with at least an apology on the regard that, you're getting this video on as early as Monday from your instructor about what to do. We technically did miss Thursday's class, and technically psych class is canceled. But at least I feel as an instructor morally and ethically obligated to at least give you the next steps, which is what I'm here for now. So as a fellow learner and as your instructor, I am here to support you. And I already apologize, so I don't need to repeat myself. But yes, at least on this screen right now, we can at least communicate. So there are two main points that I've got to share with you on this channel right now. What to do next in this course. There are two things. As you know from your syllabus, there is assignment free, which is your annotated bibliography and literature review on a topic within the scope of Psych 100 and 101. Most of you have already chosen your topics on 101. So remember, those topics is anything except the psychological disorders which you've already presented. There'll be two main things you want to do for this assignment in a group. The first thing is, as you research the topic, prepare an annotated bibliography. Check the assignment instructions, assignment 3.1, for how you would go about doing this, getting your sources on Google Scholar and compiling those sources using APA format as much as you can. Remember, citing as you write is going to help you in the long run. So if you already know how to make references, and I know you do because this is not our first APA assignment, use the previous assignments as your template. Make your reference list, make your title page, make the sections that you're going to use to record and organize and compile your sources. That's one. As you read them, do take notes. Remember, you know skills from summarizing your sources. So for each source, at least do that. You may split the work, among your group members. For example, if you're going to start with 3 or 4 main sources, then have each person do one and do a summary on that. Again, this is group work, so how you're going to split that work up and do the summary is up to you. But regardless of how you do it, you should still do a summary of each of the sources that you're going to read and or use for your literature review. So this annotated bibliography section is the assignment part that gets you to prepare your sources, to gather them up, to read over them, to take notes on them, and to understand what is being said about that article. If you have any questions about how you're going to find those sources, perhaps on Google Scholar or online, stay tuned for the next videos if needed, and I'm going to make these, that you can use Google Scholar to help you narrow down your search. Now, you already remember that we've done this before, so go back, remember the practices that we've done, and find the sources first. The next step following is the literature review itself. There are questions in the instructions from the literature review about what to ask about the articles and about the articles as a whole, in addition to asking them individually, that you would review the literature. Before I forget, the main reason we do literature reviews is when psychologists or psychology students do their research on a given topic, it is natural and it's common sense to find out what's the existing research on that topic. Usually, with the topic that we encounter, it's already been done or there's already research on it. So it is very good to know what's out there, and hence the literature review. When reviewing the literature, not only will we examine what's already been done, but we can also analyze it to see if there are anything that we can build upon or anything we can expand. So that's where you have questions that talk about, are there any limitations to the study? And before that, what are the findings of the study? And before that, what is the study asking? So, the research question and the hypothesis, which is the answer to those questions. And the testing, which is the research to see if the evidence or the data supports the hypothesis. So that's the overview of assignment 3. It's a literature review of existing research on the topic of your choice within the scope of Psych 100 or 101. Most groups, if not all, have already chosen the topic, so do get started on that right away. The next bit, which I'll cover in brief right now, is your final exam. What I would say about this is, having discussed this with Miss Margetti and Gabe Pillay, who is the director of the Running Start program, as well as having, word from the vice principal, the exam will be postponed until end of April, mid-April. At this point, I do not have the instruction for sure, but I will say with full conviction that yes, as soon as I hear back from the instructors, we will give you a date. But just so you know, you don't have to worry anymore. It is not right after spring break. There will be an announcement telling you when the postponed exam will happen. It is still going to be in 2 parts, or at least the 2 parts will be there. You're going to have the multiple choice and short answer part, and then you're going to have the essay part. So the test still covers everything. If the school is closed for the actual postponed final exam, we have ways to make the exam online and secure enough that you can take it online without worrying about, well, at least for the instructor, to worry about things like cheating. At least in theory and on paper. We will give you an update as to how the exam will be administered as details follow, along with the date of the exam itself. So that's it. 2 main things we covered in this video. 1, your next assignment. Assignment 3, 3-1 or 3.1 and 3.2. Your annotated bibliography and your literature review. Get started right away with gathering the sources. Take notes from the sources and make sure you cite those sources in the reference list. Do that first so you don't forget. Also, as you read it from your notes, you'll work from your notes to do the literature review, answering the questions outlined in the instructions and the rubric. Again, those would be, what's the research question from the article? What's the hypothesis answering that question? How was it being tested? What were their findings? And what are their limitations? Individually for each article, as well as taken together. Perhaps there are common findings or contradictory findings. Perhaps there are common limitations or unique limitations to the case. That's going to be the more analytical, the critical piece to your literature review. There's going to be the summary component where you talk about the articles themselves, answering those questions. But the real part that's going to be interesting and that would build your research is going to be the analytical questions. Even starting with compare-contrast questions about common themes and findings and limitations. Again, check out the instructions, review them carefully for assignments 3.1 and 3.2. Get started on the annotated bibliography. Ask me questions as they come up. You can ask me on email, or if you really need the face-to-face, you can Skype as well, schedule that appointment. It can even be just like a Skype audio phone call, so then you don't have to worry about video. And the final exam itself is postponed until late April. We will give you an announcement as to what day that is, or days if it's still split into parts, and as well as the format, whether it's going to be done on the campus of school if school is open, or if it's going to be done online. So that's it for today. Angus signing off for this intro, welcome back, or hello spring break, Psych 101. We'll see you in the next one. Stay healthy, stay on top of your schedule, and stay safe out there. We're here rooting for you during this period of rapid transition. Good luck.